Did you know that the biggest reason or the biggest factor who is holding you back is yourself? Like you are actually the one who is holding yourself back the most. Would you believe me? Let's talk. So, today we are talking about the biggest career mistake that I did and what I want to convey from my own experience. In short, as you have read the title and you have already heard me saying in the beginning that you are actually the biggest reason to hold yourself back from progress or success or whatever it is. Let me give you my life story about it. So I will say the biggest reason because of which I was not going ahead in my career for quite some time, I will say for let's say 1 to 2 years, 2 years or 2.5 years of my experience. I was doing good, I was doing well, but I didn't get the progress that I could have, or I didn't move ahead in the ladder of corporate industry and reached where I could have, all because of my own fault of estimating or underestimating myself. Let me give you the whole story, the whole context. So, I am a 2020 pass out batch. So, that year, COVID came, a lot of the companies were shutting down, and so similarly my company also got shut down. The company where I was working, it's a relatively early, it was a early startup and shut down due to lack of funds and everything. But what happened is after that, the one thing that I did correct was not sit around. I started doing freelance work. I started doing client projects and earning some sort of money from there, as well as keep on learning new stuff so that I will not have a gap time. I will at least have some sort of experience handling client projects directly and also learning new stuff. That was the awesome thing that I did in my career. But at the same time, the thing that I did wrong is at that time I was too desperate. Like even when COVID came to an end, like I won't say an end, like around 7 8 months had passed and I was looking for new opportunities, new jobs. Two mistakes that I did that I definitely will not make in any of my future opportunities, or I will not suggest anyone to do those same mistakes. First one is I got too comfortable and I got too desperate. So I got too comfortable. That means like I was fine with working in a low salary or uh, working with things that I was familiar with, but not exploring new stuff. So I was living in West Bengal, right? At that time, currently I live in a different state, but at that time I was living in West Bengal, and there were different sorts of news, and there were different sorts of net from my network, from my friends and families and everything. I was getting the news that okay, somebody is going to Bangalore, somebody is going to Delhi, somebody is going to UP and stuff like that. But at that time I didn't take that step, like okay, I am also open to work pan India, I am also open to work abroad as well, or wherever I'm not comfortable. So I got too comfortable. That's one of the reason why I like my own progress didn't go as fast as it could have. The second thing, I was desperate to land a job and get some sort of stability in my life. And because of that, I didn't value the work that I was doing. Yes, it is good that you are moving ahead, you are not stopping, and you are trying to continue your journey. That is fine. But that doesn't mean you have to undervalue yourself. So basically, if I could have sold myself for by myself, don't get the wrong idea, I mean like the work that I was doing, the development, the software engineering, that's all. So if I could have asked for a salary of let's say 10 rupees, I was more than okay with a salary of 4 rupees or 5 rupees. But I could have actually asked for 10 rupees uh, if I would have been confident in asking it. How did I know that I could have asked it? Because later on down the line, when I talked about my peers and everyone, and even when I was going to switch, at that time also I faced this reality that I could have asked this salary like relatively earlier. For example, there was a company, I wouldn't name any company or anything, but just give you a small story. There was a company where I entered with a salary of 25,000 per month. At that time, like I had around what, if I'm forgetting, 2 3 years of experience or something like that, I forgot. Anyway, so I got into that company with 25,000 salary, which was quite fine at that time. But in my first year of experience, I could have raised my salary up to 30, 35 easily, because the amount of work that I was doing, and at the same time, the way I was handling clients, different projects that I was going through, I could have negotiated with the company and asked for a better salary. But at that time, I didn't value the work that I was doing, and also I was afraid of this fact that I will get fired or the company will let me go. But the fact is, you can never be too comfortable, or you can never be too insecure about your own job, that you are not even asking for what you are worth, like what the work you are worth. That is not a good mentality. I don't think that is the proper mentality, because in that way, company will keep on taking benefits from you and not give you anything in return. And that did happen. Like I kept on working for quite a while in that company, and when it finally hit me that I can actually ask for better salary, and I don't need to be afraid to switch companies and give different interviews in better companies and like get a better position. At that time, the company tried to negotiate salary with me, and they were giving me 1.5 times, 2 times what they were already giving me. You are trying to say I was asking you for a little bit of raise and you didn't give me at that time, but I got comfortable and I didn't like push it further. But now that I am trying to resign, you are going to give me 2x salary. That's simply absurd, right? Like I should have been, and part of that fault falls on me as well. I should have been more prominent. I should have been more straightforward in asking what I need or what I want. And at the same time, when I was going out of that company, when I resigned from that company, the client that I used to work for, he was offering me 3 times, 4 times more salary than I was currently, like at that time, that I was getting. And he already told me that he is already paying this salary. But obviously, even if he is paying that much salary to the company, like for my work, I am actually not getting that salary from that company, right? Which is quite a common practice in corporate world. But like, just to give you a perspective that somebody, a client or someone else, is actually paying me 3 to 4 times, and because of my own job security insecurity, because of my own lack of confidence, because of my own desperation that I will lose the job, or I will not be stable in my life, or like all of those, what can I say, like bad factors, or like not even worthwhile factors, not even anything, like I shouldn't even have thought about those things. But because of those, I let go of the opportunity of growth. I could have earned a lot more. I could have gotten to a better position. I could have become like a much more senior engineer or lead engineer or something like that. But I didn't, only because of the fact that I held myself back. And I see this all the time in the industry, like with all my friends, with all my different colleagues and stuff. The number one factor that is holding you back is yourself. Sometimes it's your insecurity, sometimes it's your lack of good judgment, sometimes your lack of motivation, sometimes like even, what can I say, like sometimes your lack of understanding the situation. But you, most of the time, like we are the one who are holding ourselves back. And that really is something that we need to like change and improve in ourselves as soon as we can. Because if we are holding ourselves back, then the world is always going to hold you back. There is very little amount of people, very handful amount of people who are actually going to push you ahead. Most of the world is going to drag you down. And in that list, if you also write your name, that you are also dragging yourself down, there is no hope. So this is my message to everybody who is listening, or who is giving me their valuable time. Don't hold yourself back. This doesn't mean I don't mean to say that okay, you are worth 10 rupees, you are asking 50 rupees. That is not what I mean. I mean, get to know what is your like actual worth. Do some market study, have some research, talk to your colleagues, talk to peers, talk to other developers or other people who are in the same workspace, and get to know what is your, or not even about salary. If it is a position, if it is a designation, if it is some sort of thing that you are aiming for, a privilege or anything like that, whatever you are aiming for, get to know what is the actual cost of that. And you are like, are you worthy to get that treatment, or are you worthy to be there to reach your goal or not? If you are, then stop holding yourself back. Be confident. Don't be insecure about your own future. Future is always going to be uncertain. There is no certainty about future. Doesn't matter whoever tells you what thing. But if you are worried about the future, if you are too much insecure about your own future and you are not even taking any risky moves, like not even a step towards your own progress, you are unknowingly holding yourself back. So I'll say stop doing that, and you will see that your own career will skyrocket like in an instant. Yep. So that's all I had to say. Stop holding yourself back and have a really good career ahead, have a really good professional life ahead. Thanks.